Howdy doody. Have I got bug brain? Look it up. Take 2 hours out of your day and look at Barney Bee and the Scarab Lord and have a taste of player perspective gaming. Anyway, the story of my challenge. I have now reached Fearsome Forester on beta. I have now reached the point where I can craft my extraordinary Mithril Forester axe on beta. Literally in 5 minutes you can wipe the database. I am fine. This is the purchase that I regret. Maybe if there's another beta, my hunter can have an axe. But anyways, it's time to go and craft me Mithril axe. Or is that a gold Mithril axe? Can you have a gold Mithril axe? Boom, 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 boom. Cross fingers. Oh. Sadly, this is still bind on acquire, so I can't give this to my other characters. It's only beta. It's going to go with a data wipe. There's no option for using ingredients packs. There's no option to crit it. Only one use. 10 seconds. The last one was 6 and then 4 and oh god, it's been a nightmare. Although my brain is addled from all this challenge, I'm guessing it was 60-man days of resets and trundling various characters with a forestry skill through. 60-man days in a little over 3 days. That's what it's come up to. And here we go. We have our extraordinary Mithril axe. But do we get to see it in action? Do we get to see it in action? No, it looks like the same old axe. 3 run, 1 run. Did get a little bit of a crit though. I got 15% critical rating because of my extra 10%. The question is, have I got time before the end of beta 3, 4, 3 to go and get my passives up? Because that's only 8 wins or something, isn't it? I can do that. I can do that in 3.5 hours, can't I? Well, 4 hours to be on the safe side. Oh, it's tricky. I had my second from last win. I crashed. And I thought, first of all, I thought it was a monitor while I was trying to skin a bear corpse. So I thought it was a monitor, so I started playing around with the plugs. And then it started to reboot. So I thought, right, calm. Get in there. Get back on that character as quickly as possible. And of course, it took a time. I'm not blaming anyone but myself for the crash because I've got both the game files and the beta files on an SSD, and I have the page file on there as well. But when I got both versions of the game on there, it's running short of room, so the page file isn't getting much room to operate. So normally what I'd do is I'd only have one, either the live game or the beta game on the SSD. But sadly, I chose to run this beta with them both on it, so my own fault for crashing the machine. But I came back on, and it looked like possibly time had elapsed, because I still ran through it, finished it, finished off the skinning, did the processing, drank the drink, carried the cable around, and won. So I still got my winner's taken. I've got several errors when I'm finished, of course, but that's in hand. And I used all the Wanderlust and Find a Paths and 78% mounts in case someone decided to try and challenge me with not my experience of doing these. I even let one level 140 hunter arrive with his 5% base Find a Path, and I suggested, the 15%, yeah. I suggested they respec. So I loaded up my level 6 hunter with no speed buffs at all, and this guy, he was nowhere to be seen. He started not finding the wood and then wandering around looking for the bear corpses. But he kept trying, and he kept resetting with MC, and he'd come across some different class to come up against. And although I begged him to consider his 30% run speed boost, he decided that he was happy with his default 15 or whatever it was. Yeah. And I said, practice, follow me. I think but everyone I come across, they want to do it themselves, so they've invested in doing it themselves, and then they just lose sight of me going off into the distance. So I got experience of doing them multiple times, i.e. I have one fearsome forester now. I don't know how many that takes, because the deed log doesn't say how many I've done, but maybe Orion knows how many it takes. How many runs does it take to get fearsome forester? Because I've done a few resets on this cat, merely because he was crafting. So when he was coming up to a new craft and just getting enough mats, I'd bring him on to do the final run and win. So there should be, the fastest hunters and the Bjornings might be soon to follow him with that title. So that was a nice thing to happen at the end, to get Fearsome Forester just as I got the last luckstone setting for my final craft. I can see this taking a whole lot longer on live, because if I look at, I came with no Mithril. I got 2,000 Mithril. I have bought a couple of houses. That choice one in Linderby, out of the way, the one that Gin wants. So I know what I did is I bought another house, found it was the wrong one, because it was the one next door down the road, which I was not happy about. So I sold it, got the writs, bought some more writs. It's a bit difficult to know how many Mithril coins I've actually spent. Whatever the price of the the number one in that street costs. Um, but I've reset it a number of times, and I'm thinking 30 resets, but I could be just addled by this stage. It's not going to be something I'm going to do on live. Although, with a discount on Mithril and some special 30% off code with the 20% off, who knows? I'll have to ponder that. As a premium house, I've managed with a normal Hobbit home all these years, so I've never had a premium home. But I guess the trouble is, it's going up there and finding it's filled with thin, lanky hobbits. That's a bit disappointing. I think that's one of the things that has kept people away from doing the event on beta, other than me winning everything, was loads of people more interested in Linderby housing and figuring out what the hell they're doing with their Bjornings and their Guardians. So it I'm just thinking that there's plenty of time after it goes live to look at Linderby housing, and there's plenty of time after the event to figure out Bjornings and Guardians. But my priority is this event, because this potentially is very much a long-term goal with 10 events coming. And there's my alarm. There's the prospect of a multifunctional tool incorporating all this and lots of other things in the future. It would be kind of nice, as long as it's shareable and not bound. So, as I mentioned, the Leatherman and Victorinox all rolled into one. It's not as good as your Gundabad super purchase price thing, except for the critical chance. But then it can't be better than the ultimate pack, can it? Because whatever you do, whatever we get in game, it's going to be trumped by something you can purchase from marketing, sadly. So you kind of know your limits. Anyway, there's my axe. That's the kind of challenge I like, I must say. And I'm sorry about my home server when it goes live. I shall try and do my best to disrupt all the other servers I can to put them off, and try and keep on my home server to nighttime Forester events to give them a chance. And I should mention last night, my brain might be addled. First, I thought someone's screwing up these timers here, because I'd get here, I'd speak to Aldith Bowman for oh, thank you for joining, and wait now. Suddenly it was bang, off you go, 15 minutes till the next one, and I thought, who's screwing me? Is there a dev? This was at 8 o'clock Eastern last night, so between 8 and 10. It's getting a bit screwy. So I thought that some dev was in here messing around with timers, either to screw with me or help me by giving me an extra 4, 5, 6, 6.5 minutes off my wait time a couple of times. So I was convinced I was being monitored. So I was talking in chat, talking with says to nobody. That's what you do when you're going mad. You start talking to yourself. So then I started dropping various red herrings that might fight back. So if you happen to be on and did do something, then don't take the red herring seriously, because you might well get those red herrings repeated to you and to CS when it goes live, because I'm going to be sneaky in places. But anyway, if you weren't, it could be just the fact that at the time I had gone off to somewhere else, like Linderby, and to the broker to create a guild kinship. Sorry, I got to slap myself. And I left the area empty, and it must have deinstantiated while I was away. So when I came back and it instantiated itself again, the timers between the two protagonists here was off. So Aldith was obviously on a different timer to Wilkins over there. So basically, the upshot of that was I start the event, I walk over to Aldith, hit join, and then suddenly it's go. Axe is on the table, and we're off. So possibly it's either me getting bug brain, a dev interfering, or me just unloading the area and having it empty for 5 minutes. And only when I came back, it didn't quite all gel together. I don't know. But I have chat logs and chat capture that has a few confusing things in. If any dev wants me to post those to them, I don't have the synapses working at the moment to go through them and just review, but I might do in a day or so, I suppose, over the weekend. And talking over the weekend, devs, take a break from the game over the weekend. Settle back to Barney Bees, or Barney the Beekeeper's Scarab Lord output on YouTube. And then think about those who dwell on the content creator pages of our forums. Well, I think I should be done by now. I'm going to hope that this records. I think I might have to check that it's recorded well before I log out.